How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. These are the scariest video clips of the week, so hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this. Our first clip of the day is a strange one uploaded by TikTok user Jezebel TikTok. Take a look.
What are you doing?
Watching that again after the dog fetches the frisbee, it looks like it's playing around with someone. It looks like some kind of invisible force is grabbing the frisbee and that they're playing tug-of-war with the dog. This goes on for some time as the owner watches on, bewildered.
What are you doing?
This bizarre footage set the comments section abuzz as people scrambled to make sense of what's going on. The majority of people seem to agree that something's grabbed the frisbee and the dog is struggling to wrestle it free.
What are you doing?
Some more grounded ideas suggested that the dog was just playing around, or that the frisbee's blocking its view and it's walking awkwardly because of that. However, there's a distinct moment when the dog starts walking normally in a straight line.
What are you doing?
So what do you make of this curious footage? What's causing the dog to behave like this? Share your theories with the rest of the community in the comments section down below.
What are you doing?
There are a lot of things you might expect to see on the side of the road while driving. Animals, hitchhikers, broken down vehicles. However, this video, uploaded to YouTube by Ida Olivas, shows something that no one would likely anticipate. The footage was captured on the dashboard camera of a vehicle traveling down the Saltillo Torreon highway in Mexico. As the video begins, we see the vehicle driving late at night. It's dark, yet the road is well lit by the headlights of passing cars. Suddenly, something unusual passes by. Take a look. As you can see, a woman in a white dress comes running down the side of the road. She looks to be flailing her arms as she moves. At first, you might think this is just an ordinary person, one who's attempting to wave down a passing car. However, if you look carefully, you might notice that she appears to be missing her head. Could this be a sighting of the infamous woman in white, a type of spirit often thought to have died in a state of heartbreak? If this is the case, then perhaps she met her end on this very stretch of highway. Some viewers don't think that anything supernatural is happening in this clip at all. They believe that the woman's not headless, but rather appears that way due to a trick of the light. However, even if this is the case, then why is she running down the highway flailing her arms in the middle of the night? So what do you think's going on in this video? Does it really show a ghost? Or is there another explanation for this bizarre scene? Let me know your take on this in the comment section down below. When Redditor Random Doge47 decided to visit the abandoned Hartwood Hospital in Scotland, they were probably hoping to capture some creepy footage. As it turns out, they may have caught more than they initially bargained for.
Oh my god, somebody's head's popping at the top of them. So it is. Oh my god, I need to go.
Formerly known as the Lanark District Asylum, the complex was opened in 1895. At one time, it could accommodate up to 500 psychiatric patients and included staff houses, a farm, railway line, and even a cemetery. In 1906, a tuberculosis sanatorium was also built on the property. After undergoing a period of decline, the hospital eventually closed its doors in 1998. The buildings were then used briefly by Lancashire Television as a film studio. In 2004 and 2016, fires left the property significantly damaged. In this footage, we see one of the buildings. It's immediately obvious that it's in disrepair. We can see that the lower windows are all boarded up. The poster also notes that the upper floors have even collapsed. As the camera holder pans around the building, keen-eyed viewers might be able to spot something moving in the top left-hand window. Take a look.
Oh my god.
If you zoom in, you can see a figure with a pale face. It seems to notice the group down below and quickly disappears from sight. At first, several viewers thought that the figure might actually be a bird. However, the poster noted that this was unlikely, as the first time we see the shape, it's in the middle of the window. The camera then briefly pans away before we see the shape again. It's still in the center of the window. If it really was a bird, it would have to have hovered in place without moving. While several viewers turned to the paranormal for answers, others thought that even though the building looked sealed from the bottom, it was probably a squatter who had found a way to get inside. But what do you think it could be? Hovering bird, squatter, or a ghost? Let me know in the comments down below. In late 2018, the Humboldt Pet Supply Store in Arcata, California started experiencing some odd things around their premises. Objects around the store would fall over so often, they began to suspect that they had a ghost cat haunting the property. Luckily, their CCTV cameras started picking up some of the activity, so the owners could prove they weren't going mad. Take a look. In this first clip, we see a bag fall off one of the shelves as a staff member goes about their day. Then, things get even stranger in this next snippet. Watch. At the bottom of the screen, you can see a cat's shadow walk by. But there doesn't appear to be anything that could have caused this shadow. A cat doesn't walk by the door at all. Then, the store's resident cat, Diego, heads to the door to investigate. It's as though Diego can suspect that something's off. In this last piece of footage, yet more activity is recorded in the store. Admittedly, this last one does look like the work of string, which makes the other recorded activity a little less convincing. So, is this store haunted by the spirit of a cat, or is it all just a bit of fun marketing? Watch the footage again and decide for yourself. In February 2021, TikTok user Alice Nash1 shared some freaky home security footage that couldn't quite be explained. They shared it on their social media where it caused quite a stir. Take a look. As you can see, a strange shadowy figure walks up the stairs past one of the residents. It's transparent and amorphous, but looks vaguely human in shape. Whatever it is, it makes its way up the stairs, then floats off camera. A lot of viewers on TikTok called it a great catch, inferring that they indeed believe this to be a genuine paranormal sighting. The OP suggested it could be a shadow figure or even a demon. But what do you think's been caught on this home security camera? Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. This short clip was shared to TikTok by PG Stories. It appears to have been captured on a home security camera. While these devices are a great way to keep an eye on the inside of your house when you're not around, occasionally they might actually capture something you'd rather not see. In the video, we see what looks like an ordinary living room. Yet, if you concentrate on the back corner of the room near the door, you might notice something rather chilling. Take a look. In an instant, a dark figure appears. It's hard to see at first, but it's definitely there. It looks as though it walks to the right of frame before vanishing from sight. The figure looks like a shadow, however the way it suddenly appears then disappears seems otherworldly. Unfortunately, as is often the case with these sorts of videos, the lack of accompanying information makes it difficult to know just what we're seeing. So, for now, it will have to be left up to you, the viewer, to decide whether it's paranormal or not. One of our viewers, Mark D, sent the following eerie image into our Facebook group where it caused quite a stir among other members. Mark was hanging out at a mate's place in the backyard when suddenly their dog began to behave strangely, as though something was wrong. The group couldn't figure out what was spooking the dog, so on a whim they took out their phones and took a few snaps of the backyard. In one of the photos, something strange can be seen in the background. There's a transparent, misty shape on the left. You can make out what appears to be a head with dark sunken eyes. It almost looks like a figure crouching in the darkness. In the foreground, you can see that the dog's tail is down and it looks somewhat anxious. The group of friends can't explain what happened that night and only have this photo to go by. Some of our viewers thought it looked like a figure crouching down trying to call the dog over or play with it. The other option is that this is a case of pareidolia, a phenomenon that causes our brains to see familiar shapes and patterns in otherwise random stimuli. For example, looking at clouds in the sky, we might see familiar objects like a car or boat. Here we might be simply looking at a swirling mist gathering at night time, but what our brains see is a freaky old hag luring an innocent dog in to do her bidding. The thing that adds a little mystery to this photo though is the fact that the dog was acting strangely and was clearly spooked by something. This next creepy video was uploaded to YouTube by Believe, a Paranormal Experience. It showcases one of their investigations when they were called to a supposedly haunted restaurant named The Great Escape, located in Schiller Park, Illinois. The building in which the restaurant is located has a rather interesting history. As the current owner Brian notes, it was once a speakeasy during the days of Prohibition, with gambling downstairs and a brothel upstairs. In recent years, several eerie incidents have been reported on the premises. These include sightings of a clipboard-carrying man in a black suit who walks into a closet and suddenly vanishes. There's also the sounds of 1920s music coming from the basement after hours, and even stories of an antique radio that began playing tunes even though it wasn't working. At the beginning of the video, we see a photo that was supposedly captured by a customer after he thought he saw a shadow figure. In the picture, which was taken just outside the women's bathroom, we can see what appears to be a ghostly young girl wearing an old-style dress. In an attempt to contact the girl, one of the investigators enters the bathroom. Using an EVP device, she asks several questions.
Is there a little girl here?
The answers she receives are certainly open to interpretation. However, what the investigator captures on camera visually will likely send chills down your spine. Take a look.
Are there any women in here with me?
At first, you may not notice anything out of the ordinary, but if you focus on the gap between the door, there appears to be a face staring back at the camera. Next, several more investigators attempt to make contact, this time in the basement.
What used to happen in this basement a long time ago?
Firstly, they ask any present entities to state their name. The EVP device then seems to pick up on the word Mike.
Can you tell me your name? Mike.
They then ask several more questions. Listen to the chilling answers that they receive.
Mike, what did you do here, Mike? Bartend? Is that what he said? What was the basement used for during Prohibition? Money. How many spirits are we talking to?
Could this old speakeasy still be haunted with the ghosts of yesteryear? Judging by the evidence gathered during this investigation, it certainly seems possible.
Speak nice and loud for me, Mike.
This next piece of CCTV footage was uploaded by Archivos del Infierno over on TikTok. It shows a young boy playing around in a yard, when suddenly something strange happens. Watch. It looks like something pushes the boy in the back. If you slow it down, you can make out a shadow or transparent shape that appears just behind the boy. Some viewers said he merely stumbled, but that doesn't explain the strange shadowy figure behind the boy. Unfortunately, like a lot of mysterious clips floating around the internet, there's almost no accompanying information to run with. So for now, you'll have to watch the clip again and make up your own mind as to what's happening here. Here's another out of thin air type video that's been causing confusion on the internet. This one was uploaded to TikTok by Kittis Too Soiled. Take a look at what this security camera has captured. As the van passes by, a man seems to appear out of nowhere. He has a strange, at attention posture before he starts to march towards the building. It's possible the man just jumped out of the van while it was moving, but it's his strange posture that throws this into doubt. If he jumped out of the van, even at this speed, you'd think there'd be some evidence of inertia, or that he'd be stumbling to get his balance. Amusingly, a lot of comments said that this dude just spawned into the game or that he joined the server. So what's to be made of this bizarre sighting? Are we really seeing people teleport in and out of existence? Or is there another way to explain this? Share your theories in the comments section down below.
Let's go eat.
Adventures Jassim the Dark Knight is a YouTube channel based in Saudi Arabia. The channel's owner frequently explores abandoned buildings that are rumoured to be haunted. In this episode, he searches an old, dilapidated apartment on the edge of the city. As he explores the empty building, there are signs that squatters may live here. Before long, the OP begins to hear strange noises throughout the building. It doesn't appear that anyone else is in the building at the time of filming, yet he continues to hear mysterious sounds. Then suddenly, this happens. Watching that again, as he looks into another room, a desk appears to slide across the floor, all on its own. The adventurer quickly looks around, but there's no one there. Just when this exploration seems freaky enough, something else happens that's a little more alarming. Watch.
لا إله إلا لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله بسم الله.
As the OP enters a room, a quick thud is heard behind him.
لا إله إلا
That's when he spots a knife jutting out of the door.
لا إله إلا الله بسم الله.
Creepily, if we review the footage from just seconds earlier, you can see that there's no knife in the same door.
لا إله إلا لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله بسم الله.
This is enough to send the camera holder fleeing from the building, and the episode promptly ends. This is certainly an alarming piece of footage. It seems to be a mix of possible otherworldly activity and a more immediate real-life warning. I'll throw this one out to you, the viewers. What do you make of this urban exploration? Share your opinions in the comments section down below.
لا إله إلا لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله.
What's your worst fear about moving into a new house? Faulty wiring, structural damage? What about if it's haunted? In this short video posted to TikTok by Lauren G. Glad, you might see your worst nightmare coming to life. In old times, the act of the groom carrying his bride over the threshold was thought to help protect her from demons, which might be lurking inside their new home. In this case, it isn't clear if the couple is married or if the house is even new, but what the camera has caught is nevertheless likely to send chills down your spine. Watch.
Go.
If you look at the open doorway just behind the couple, you'll notice that they're not alone. There's a pale figure lurking in the shadows. It has long, dark hair and appears to have glowing eyes. Whatever it is, it seems to clutch at the door for a moment before disappearing into the house. However, as it turns out, it was later revealed by the woman who posted the clip to TikTok that the creepy figure seen by the door was actually her. It seems she didn't realise that the video was being made and she had attempted to get out of the way before being seen. But if you think this eerie mystery ends there, you'd be mistaken. Several keen-eyed viewers noticed that you'll also see a strange shadowy shape in the window. Take a look.
Go.
So far, it seems no one's been able to offer a valid explanation for this other creepy anomaly. So what do you think? Does this video really show something supernatural, or is this just another hoax in the window? Also, quick question, would you be willing to move into a house that you knew was haunted? Or are you the type of person that prefers to have no freeloading spirits roaming the hallways? Let me know where you sit on this in the comments down below. This next clip's been going viral this last couple of weeks, with various versions getting shared around. This one was uploaded to TikTok by Mr. List Paranormal. The man seen in the clip believes his house is haunted. It all started when he began experiencing strange things around his home. Eerie whispering at nighttime, lights turning on and off, and dark shadowy figures lingering in the hallway. These bizarre happenings allegedly started getting worse and worse, so he decided to set up a series of cameras around his home to try and catch some of the activity on film. This is what one of the cameras caught. Watching that again, a few eerie things happen in a relatively short period of time. Firstly, as the man walks up the stairs, a shadow seems to follow him. Whatever it is, it looks to have long, eerie legs and is stalking in a crouched position. At the end of the clip, the cupboard door then moves open, and a face can be seen hovering in the darkness. Naturally, there were thousands of people creeped out, hiding in the comments looking for answers. Some noted that it looks like the first shadow is crawling on all fours. Others said the homeowner should have the property blessed by a priest immediately, and were genuinely worried about the OP's safety. So what would you do if you heard strange noises in your home, then captured footage like this? Let me know your next movements in the comment section down below. YouTuber Hassan Baba is certainly no stranger to creepy experiences. He often explores old abandoned buildings in a hope of catching something supernatural on camera. This video begins as the YouTuber cautiously enters a building. He shines his flashlight inside and calls out to make sure he's alone. The property is clearly derelict. This is evident even as the YouTuber makes his way up the first flight of stairs. Debris lines the floor and holes have been smashed into the structure itself. Eventually, the explorer makes his way to the top of the stairs where he enters a large space. The area is big enough to be a theatre or even a ballroom. He quickly notices that the floor remains incomplete. The structure seems to be in place, but there are no floorboards covering the gaps. This makes it hard for the YouTuber to traverse the area, yet he cautiously makes his way across. Suddenly, he hears a loud sound and turns around just in time to see a plank of wood falling to the floor. The explorer decides to turn around and make his way back to the entrance. However, as he does, he notices something strange in one of the gaps in the floor. Take a look. It appears to be a figure wearing some sort of dark hood. It watches the camera for several seconds before slowly lowering from view. Carefully, the explorer makes his way closer. For the next few minutes, he painstakingly searches the area. However, the figure seems to have completely vanished.
Assalamu alaikum.
What could this mysterious entity have been? If it was a homeless person, then surely the explorer would have found some evidence of them being around. Is it possible then it was actually a ghost, as a lot of commenters speculated? Let me know your thoughts on this down below. Reddit user Natty Pack recently lost their four-legged friend Biscuit. They had been friends for over 11 years, and the family were devastated when their cherished friend suddenly passed away out of the blue. To honour Biscuit's memory, they decided to spread her ashes at the water's edge in her favourite park. The family took some photos to commemorate the moment, but couldn't quite believe what they were seeing. In one of the photos, the ashes form a distinct dog shape in the air. There's a remarkable resemblance to Biscuit herself. Natty Pack says that logically their brain says it's probably just ashes in the wind, but they can't help but think that this is Biscuit's way of saying a final goodbye to the family. The Reddit community were clearly moved by this stunning image. As tributes poured in, many commenters shared their own stories of their own lost pets. Despite the touching story, some Redditors were skeptical that the image had been photoshopped. One viewer ran the photo through some filters to show that the image hadn't been manipulated. Furthermore, the OP later posted a link to a live photo of the image where you can see the ashes moving. Here, they form a dog-like shape, then blow away in the breeze. So is it all just an amazing coincidence, or is Biscuit saying goodbye one last time? Either way, if it brings the family some comfort, then that's all that really matters. Paranormies are an amazing paranormal investigation channel here on YouTube. They travel around North America researching and exploring notoriously haunted properties, and more often than not, they capture some pretty freaky things on camera.
Oh my god.
In this episode, the team goes to investigate an old cottage deep in the wilderness.
That stereo too, right when that all happened?
The owners of the property told the Paranormies team that they frequently hear strange noises, not only in the house, but also in the surrounding woods. Mysterious shadowy figures have also been seen lurking around the property, but they always vanish when someone goes to take a closer look. One of the owners, Sheila, can't explain what's going on this remote property. While renovating the old cottage, she discovered some old photos that date back to the early 1900s. While browsing the old album, something strange happened to Sheila. When she started looking at an old black and white family portrait, she began to have a panic attack. She felt nauseous and lightheaded and almost blacked out. Sheila can't explain the strange episode and admits it could just be her imagination playing tricks on her. However, if this investigation is anything to go by, Sheila's panic attack could indeed have been brought on by something a little more sinister. The Paranormies team begins their night by setting up their equipment.
It stinks in here like old house, you know what I mean? Like the old wood from whenever this place
Very
was.
old, yeah.
They take a look around the cottage.
It's nice and it's warm though, thankfully.
Oh, I
What?
actually saw, I don't believe in orbs or anything, but I just saw something whip past your head in real life.
Like an
Yeah,
orb.
There's no dust in here.
Not long into their investigation, things begin to take a turn for the strange, as bizarre activity is recorded upstairs. Take a look.
Oh my God. That scared the shit out of me.
Who are you? Holy Hi. My name is Jordan. This is Johnny. Can you
fuck,
tell
what's going
me
on?
can you tell me what your name is?
The rocking horse and chair are moving, seemingly all on their own.
What is happening here? Can I touch you?
Holy
Okay. Okay, can you hang on a second? We just need some kind of gear to talk with you. Stop. Stop. Oh my God.
Electric again.
Again? Okay, can you
I
stop?
heard a noise from behind me.
It sounds like somebody's sitting on it.
The activity subsides as quickly as it began, and everything goes quiet.
Stop.
Grab a K2. Oh, I'm sweating.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sleeping in that bed.
Later in the night, the radio in the house begins to play up.
It wasn't lit up before though.
It wasn't so it what
See?
what?
Did you see that?
That was weird.
Why did it do that?
It's just been off this whole time.
Trick before too. See? There it goes. Why is that? Is that you doing that? Who are you? That's weird. That is weird.
Is there anything else that you like to do? You can tell us.
It's like it's shutting off and turning on again.
Then in another room, a tap turns on.
Hear something? The water?
What is that? It sounds like the
I hear water.
Oh my God.
So you like to play with electricity, faucets?
While in the bathroom, more strange movement is recorded. Watch.
Okay.
So, okay, we're gonna do a Ouija board session. That's oh my God. Holy f, that scared me. There's no way that I fucking moved that accidentally.
No, you didn't. I was filming the whole thing. You didn't even touch it.
Oh, my heart's beating so fast, man.
The team didn't realize it at the time, but while they were checking out the movement of the plank of wood, something eerie can be seen in the window behind them.
There's a set of eyes looking at us through the window, piercing red eyes, and
Two glowing red dots that resemble eyes.
it just makes you wonder, was that the creature that Sheila was talking about that was making these weird sounds, whether it was something mimicking an animal?
The team can't explain this sighting. They looked for lights outside, but nothing could be found. It's almost like something was watching them through the window.
My hands are... That scared the out of me.
Hours later, one of the team heads out to investigate the woodshed all alone. This is where the homeowners have heard some very strange noises at all hours of the night. While searching the area, he hears this.
Now, Jordan went to bed, but I felt it was necessary for me to come check out this woodshed where they hear a lot of the sounds between the two houses over there. I heard some crackling in the bush that way. I can't see without it. Oh my my god. I shouldn't even be out here. Oh god.
Listening again, it sounds like someone says, okay.
I shouldn't even be out here. Oh god. I shouldn't even be out here. Oh god. Hello? Oh,
Then what happens next left the Paranormies team completely shocked.
not good.
Watch.
That's where we saw the figure. Oh my god. Holy f. Just as I was saying that, it's right there.
Slowing that down, a dark figure moves past the window.
Oh my god. Holy f. Just as I was saying that, it's right there.
The creepiest part is, Jordan, the other team member, is asleep all alone inside the cottage. He has no idea that a dark figure is upstairs.
Just as I was saying that, it's right there. Jordan is sleeping. Holy f. I have to call him.
There is a part 2 to this investigation which I highly recommend you check out. I'll chuck a link to it in the description box down below.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Did you see what I saw? Man, there's somebody like, it looked like a reflection of somebody standing up here. Oh my god.
Our first clip of the day, uploaded by Vincent Alayorde, has been confusing and freaking TikTok viewers out. Hundreds of comments have flooded in trying to make sense of this bizarre sighting. Take a look. On a sunny day in Disneyland, a patron is busy filming a cast member dressed as Wanda from the Marvel Universe, when something strange happens in the background. The man in the pink t-shirt seems to appear out of nowhere. If you watch it in slow motion, there's no evidence of the man at all. There's no shadow or anything that suggests that a man is walking by. Also note the man's trajectory. He's clearly walking from right to left, but seconds earlier, there's no sight of him. This bizarre sighting quickly went viral on TikTok, with loads of theories dropping in the comments. The most obvious explanation is that it's a trick of perspective, but it's a hard one, because the man would have had to have been walking in a straight line with Wanda, then take a sharp turn to the left to make it appear the way it does. This prompted many commenters to call this man a time traveler, or that he can teleport. But what do you think's going on here? Are we really witnessing something out of the ordinary, or is it just a peculiar perspective? Let me know where you land on this in the comments section down below. In this next video, uploaded to YouTube by ILMN Barno Paranormal, we see some possible paranormal activity caught in an old abandoned factory. The clip starts out as the explorer enters the building.
Opuštěnou továrnu v našem městě. Tato továrna je opuštěná, protože tady před 60
The camera holder explains that it's been empty for about 60 years. According to him, there was an accident at the facility that killed several workers. The government subsequently shut it down and it's been abandoned ever since. To this day, it's believed that the ghosts of these workers still haunt the property. After winding his way down several dark passageways with only his camera light to guide him, the explorer eventually reaches a room that appears to have once been used as an office. Suddenly, something strange is caught on camera. A cupboard door flings open, seemingly all on its own. It spooks the explorer, who runs from the room. He soon regains his composure and returns for a second look. He searches the area, but seems unable to find any logical explanation for the door's sudden movement. Sometime later, he enters another room. As he scans the camera around the area, he inadvertently manages to capture the reflection of a shadowy figure in one of the windows.
Tak. A tady, kámo, tady to vypadá mega creepy třeba.
Next, the explorer enters an area of the building that is noticeably more run down than the rest. As he makes his way cautiously through the darkness, he's stopped in his tracks when he hears an eerie sound. Take a listen. Bravely, the explorer continues on. After navigating his way down a long dark corridor, he reaches what appears to be another office area. There, he's spooked one final time.
Kabinety. Jaká divná věc na zdi.
As you can see, a chair suddenly slides out from behind a desk as if pulled by some sort of unseen force. Finally, it all seems too much for the explorer, who quickly exits the room, and the video ends shortly thereafter. So is it possible that the workers who sadly lost their lives years earlier were responsible for the supposed paranormal activity seen here? Until more information comes to hand, the answer will continue to remain unknown.
You good, bud? What you barking at?
This next video was uploaded to Reddit by Big Pappy Thunder. Since then, it's garnered quite a lot of attention on several social media sharing platforms. The footage begins as we see a dog barking intently into the darkness.
Stop barking, bud. What's wrong?
The camera holder then asks the pooch what it's barking at, and the two cautiously proceed forward. Suddenly, a dark, ghostly shape can be seen flying from the right side of screen. It disappears behind the tree.
What's wrong?
The camera holder doesn't seem to notice it, however the dog still seems on edge. After watching the clip, we did a little research and decided to contact the uploader for more information. Unexpectedly, he revealed that the video is actually a fake. Just a clever prank devised by the poster in order to garner some online attention. It seems to have worked too, with the clip already earning almost 7,000 upvotes on Reddit at the time of writing. So, unfortunately, this clip doesn't show anything paranormal at all, just a rather creepy gag.
What you barking at, bud? Stop barking, bud. What's wrong?
This next brief clip was shared to TikTok by user Too Scary. It shows someone walking through a cemetery late at night when they spot something eerie lurking in the darkness. Take a look. Slowing that down and brightening up the image, you can see a dark mass near the rear stone wall. What's strange is the flashlight's lighting doesn't interact with the shadow properly. It only illuminates through the bottom half of the mass. Like many so-called ghost videos, this little snippet has almost no accompanying information, so it's hard to comment on it much further. We don't know where or when this was taken or what the OP thought they saw. So, until more info comes to hand, this strange little sighting will have to remain a mystery. In early 2020, a police station in Ecuador started experiencing some mysterious events that couldn't quite be explained. Luckily, their in-house CCTV captured some of the strange activity for all the world to see. The footage was uploaded to YouTube by Des Videos. Here we can see an officer working the night shift, when suddenly something eerie happens. Take a look. It's after midnight when out of nowhere the chair slides towards the officer sitting at the desk. He gets up startled and walks towards the entrance to the building, but as he passes the camera, a shade of white illuminates the shot for a brief moment. The officer can then be seen making a sign of the cross across his chest. This motion is practiced by Catholics as a prayer and is sometimes used to ward off evil spirits. The likelihood of someone pulling this stunt as a prank seems low. 1, you're messing with a police officer, and 2, if it were just a co-worker, you may be facing losing your job for pulling a hoax like this. Also, note that the chair moves towards the corner of the room and not away. If it were string making the chair move, it would be difficult to rig it to move it in that direction without the police officer knowing. So is this police station in Ecuador really haunted? It's hard to say for sure, but it certainly looks like this officer will remember this night for quite some time. There's something particularly eerie about allegedly haunted toys. Clips of moving dolls always seem to go viral. It seems they leave people wondering whether the item itself is cursed or whether there's a ghostly child playing with the toy. In this piece of home security footage uploaded by Tatan Mysterio on TikTok, we see a woman browsing her phone at home. Watch what happens. As you can see, the teddy bear begins to move. Subtly at first, making the woman with the phone second guess what she saw out the corner of her eye. It then moves more noticeably and the woman gets up to run before the clip abruptly ends. This is another little viral clip with no info attached, so it's hard to speculate further. Most people in the comments section were certainly freaked out by the eerie movements of the bear, but ultimately it's impossible to know what's going on here for sure. So I'll throw this out to you, the viewers. Let me know your take on this in the comments section down below. Teleportation seems to be the theme of today's episode, as this next piece of footage uploaded to TikTok by 3D Dark Figure demonstrates. This one shows the opposite of the other two clips we looked at earlier. This time it appears as though this woman disappears. Unfortunately, the clip is so brief, we don't get to see what happens next. This has led many viewers to believe it's just a trick of perspective. They think the disappearing woman perhaps just ducked behind the woman in blue. Nevertheless, it hasn't stopped this clip from going viral. As of writing, this video has amassed a crazy 4.7 million views. So clearly there's enough mystery and intrigue here for that many people to share it around. Urban exploration's a great way to uncover lost secrets of the past. On occasion, those who do it catch some rather creepy things on camera. This eerie footage was uploaded to YouTube by Andy Persons after exploring an old abandoned factory known as the First Prize Center in Albany, New York. The building was a former meatpacking plant and, according to the YouTuber, developers had attempted to demolish it in the past, but the wrecking ball bounced off its walls multiple times and it remained intact. The video begins with the explorers entering the old building. Not too long into their investigation, the explorers stumble across a strange room that's full of old VHS and audio tapes. Take a look. Then, as they enter the lower levels of the building, their camera catches a shadowy figure darting into a nearby doorway. Moments later, things get even creepier when they shine a flashlight down an elevator shaft. The air suddenly fills with the sound of multiple whispering voices. Take a listen. Spooked, the team quickly leaves the area. As they continue their exploration, they discover another large room. This one's full of old toys. The toys look as though they've been here for some time, possibly dumped in the building years earlier. Their search eventually leads them to an area where they find dozens of old photographs. As they thumb through the snaps, it becomes apparent that they appear to have been taken from a distance, as if the photographer was spying on the subjects as they went about their daily lives. This old factory certainly seems like a very creepy place. Why have so many unusual items been left there over the years? And more importantly, what was the deal with that shadowy figure and those disembodied voices? Drop your theories about what's going on here in the comment section down below. There's very little information available about this next clip. It's supposedly an excerpt of security footage captured in a museum in Piazza Square in Batumi, Georgia. As the camera rolls, a strange cloud-like shape comes into view, seemingly from behind the wall. It then moves towards the bottom of the screen before disappearing from sight. Usually, when amorphous, blurry shapes are caught on camera, they can be explained away as dust particles or insects buzzing around the lens. However, in this case, the shape doesn't appear to be either of these things. It looks large and transparent, it appears to change direction, and also seems to cast a shadow on the floor. What do you think this mysterious shape could be? Would love to hear your opinions about this in the comments section down below. Here's another little clip that's been messing with people's minds over on TikTok. It was uploaded by user AllInIs. Watch.
I'm like fucking scared. There is no one standing there, but there's a silhouette, like a shadow of a person. Yeah.
There's a strange human-shaped shadow on the wall.
There is no one standing there, but there's a...
There doesn't appear to be anything that could be casting it.
Yeah.
This odd sighting quickly went viral, racking up over 4.5 million views at the time of this upload. Thousands of comments chimed in with their own take on what could be causing the shadow. Some said it was just spray paint on the wall, others said it was a ghost or shadow figure. Then there were those who said it was a trick of perspective, and that the shadow's being cast high up from the opposite side of the street.
A silhouette, like a shadow of a person.
In a follow-up video, the OP says that it's not spray paint, showing us the wall on a grey, overcast day, where we can clearly see there's no shadow figure at all.
So as you see, there is nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah.
They go on to show the street light across the road. It doesn't match the shape of the shadow at all.
That's a lamppost on, like, next to my neighbor's. And it would project, like, here. So, yeah. Nothing.
They also say that the roof, high up on the opposite side of the street, doesn't have anything that could be casting a shadow like this.
A silhouette, like...
This has left many speculating that this is indeed a shadow figure, a glimpse at an ethereal being from another world. Strangely, a lot of people lost their minds at the end of the first clip. If we watch it again, right at the end, the curtain in the apartment on the top left flicks open for a split second.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem certain it has something to do with the shadowy figure. The OP still has no idea what caused the shadow. They say they don't particularly believe in the paranormal, but couldn't explain the bizarre sighting at all.
I have no idea. I do believe in those kind of things a bit, but not as much. And I was so scared. I was not a little bit scared, I was scared.
So where do you sit on this? What do you think's causing that shadow? Share your theories with the rest of the community in the comments down below.
A silhouette, like a shadow of a person. Yeah.
The Duke of Cleveland pub in Hartlepool, United Kingdom is thought to be heavily haunted. Locals often speak of bizarre happenings inside this Grade 2 heritage-listed building. Built in 1833, this fairly small, unassuming building was once the summer home of the first Duke of Cleveland, William Henry Vane. Over the years, it's built a reputation for being plagued by the spirits of its former occupants. Staff and patrons say that quite often a lady in Victorian-era clothing can be seen peering out of one of the windows, only to disappear seconds later. A gentleman in a top hat has also been spotted walking straight through one of the pub's walls. An antique mirror mounted on the main landing of the building often has mysterious handprints on it very high up. These handprints are said to reappear just moments after being cleaned. A viewer of ours, Paul Reed, recently did a paranormal investigation of the premises. His team set up some specialty equipment and a series of cameras around the property. While the team had an eerie night exploring the old pub, nothing particularly strange happened, or so they thought. Reed was tasked with going over the security footage taken from that night. It seems he spotted something rather unsettling. It's after midnight and the team is looking around the main dining hall, when suddenly this happens. A hunched over shadow seems to follow one of the team members. Seconds later, it comes back to the left of screen. There doesn't seem to be anything around that could have caused this shadow. This footage was also filmed directly off the security feed, so there's little chance of CGI or other video trickery being added in. No one there that night can explain this strange shadowy form, nor do they recall seeing anything like this in person. With its long history and notorious reputation for being haunted, makes you wonder whether the Duke of Cleveland pub really is home to something paranormal. With all the death and sickness hospitals see, it's no wonder many people claim that they're heavily haunted. Healthcare workers often comment on our videos saying that they've seen some really eerie things in the hospitals they work in. This next clip seems to back up these claims. Reddit user Bored Guy Online wants to keep the location of this hospital private for the sake of keeping his job. He says the security guard he works with often spots strange things while doing his rounds at night time. The guard would see mysterious things so often he thought he was losing his mind. That's when he dared his fellow workmate to take a walk around at night time and film what he sees. The OP did end up walking around the hospital at night time while filming. While he thought it was unnerving, nothing particularly strange seemed to happen, or so he thought. Upon reviewing the footage, one segment stood out. Take a look. Watching that again, slowed down at the end of one of the hallways, a dark figure peeks out from around the corner. The Redditor claims that this part of the hospital isn't in use, it's late at night and no one else is around. So what's to be made of this eerie sighting? After seeing the footage, a lot of Reddit users shared their own experiences in other hospitals. A lot of comments described very similar sightings, shadowy, almost transparent figures lurking out the corner of their eyes. Sometimes called shadow people, this bizarre phenomenon has been reported all around the world. Often people who suffer from sleep paralysis or insomnia report encounters with dark beings that stare at them from the corner of the room. Time and time again, witnesses will describe almost the exact same experience. So is this sighting a genuine shadow person, or is there another way to explain what's happening here? Unless more info comes to hand, it's likely we'll never know for certain what was lurking down this hospital's hallway. Whether or not Yetis actually exist has been the source of much debate for years. Supposed sightings of this elusive creature are often blurry or very clearly hoaxed. As camera quality improves, sightings of the mysterious Yeti continue, and if it really does exist, then hopefully irrefutable proof will soon be captured. In this video, uploaded to YouTube by Jay Kelly, something mysterious is being caught on camera in the Russian wilderness. But is it a Yeti? Take a look and judge for yourself. The footage was supposedly captured on dashcam in the Russian Republic of Bashkortostan, which is near its border with Kazakhstan. In the video, we see a vehicle traveling along a snowy road. With nothing except headlights to illuminate the way, the vehicle cautiously continues into the darkness. Suddenly, a hairy, ape-like figure darts across the road. The vehicle comes to an immediate stop, as sounds of amazement from the passengers can be heard. The vehicle then continues forward until it reaches the tracks of the creature, allowing the occupants to get a closer look. Some viewers thought that the figure could have simply been a large human male. However, others disagreed, citing the creature's impressive size and seemingly hairy appearance as evidence that it was something else entirely. But was it really a Yeti? While the video is certainly intriguing and does appear to show something strange, it only adds to the mystery of the Yeti rather than solve it. Hopefully one day we can learn the truth behind this elusive creature, once and for all. This next clip was captured in a dorm somewhere in Indonesia. It was shared by the Instagram account Kerasahan Netizen. The OP was sitting in their room when suddenly something eerie started happening. They took out their phone and captured the bizarre event unfolding. Take a look.
Cok, Mal, Iqmal. Cok, bonekanya gerak dhewe, Cok, ya Allah. Sumpah bonekanya gerak dhewe, Cok. Tenan.
You can see the toy rabbit moving, seemingly all on its own. The camera holder jumps up and runs out into the hallway looking for help. If we look at that again, the first movement could just be gravity. But then the toy does a rolling motion and falls onto the floor. Naturally, a lot of people have suggested this could be the work of a poltergeist, a type of spirit that many paranormal investigators believe can manipulate objects in the physical world. Unfortunately, we don't know where exactly this was filmed, so it's impossible to research the area. So, for now, all we can do is speculate on this bizarre piece of footage. This next mind-bending clip was uploaded to TikTok by 15SI04. It's been furrowing the brows of thousands of users as comments flooded in trying to make sense of this bizarre sighting. Take a look. As you can see, when the camera looks at the bush through the window, it appears to be on fire. But when they zoom in on the bush through the doorway, it doesn't appear to be aflame at all. A plethora of theories popped up in the comments. Many likened the scene to the 3rd chapter of the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. In this tale, Moses is confronted by a talking, burning bush, a sign from God that he should lead his people to the promised land. While the shrub we're seeing here isn't as talkative as the Moses bush, it certainly evokes biblical imagery. Other comments thought the fire might be a reflection from behind the camera holder. Another popular theory said that we're seeing an ethanol fire. Pure ethanol burns cleanly with a very limited luminosity. In the light of day, it can be very hard to spot the flames of an ethanol fire. This theory suggests that the window alters the light, making us able to see the flames more clearly. Then, there were plenty of people saying this is clear evidence that we're living in a simulated reality, and that this fire is an example of a glitch in the system. Whatever theory you subscribe to, it's definitely a fun piece of footage that, at first, takes you by surprise. One of our viewers, Erica Sams, has always suspected her old house in Nebraska was haunted. Bizarre and unexplainable things would happen so often she began to fear for her children's safety. Sam's son was allegedly knocked over in the bathtub by an unseen force, and her daughter, who was 2 years old at the time, would talk to something under her bed. She described it as a green-eyed man. One night, the Omaha local was notified that her home security system had detected movement in the living room. The system was programmed to take 2 quick successive photos whenever it detected movement. Sams was stunned when she reviewed the photos. In the first snap, a strange blurry white shape can be seen on the right. This photo on its own could be showing anything. However, when you look at the second snap, things begin to get a little more unsettling. The white shape is more upright now and looks more like a human form. When you flick back and forth between the 2 images, you can see that whatever it is, it seems to be rising up out of the floor. It looks ethereal and amorphous and seems to be hovering in mid-air. These photos were taken over 10 years ago and the family has long since moved. Before leaving, Sams had her children blessed by the local priest, who also performed sacred rites on the property to cleanse the space of any negative energy. Since moving, the family hasn't had any strange activity happen to them in their new home. Our last segment features a photo that was submitted to our Slapped Ham subreddit by user warpig372. The photo features the OP's wife when she was a little girl. Everything looks fairly normal, until you notice the ominous figure standing in the doorway to the building. It looks to be a woman wearing a gown, but her face is obscured by darkness. What makes this picture particularly eerie is that the building had been left abandoned for many years. It had only just been donated to the Girl Scouts, and this was the first day the group was heading into the building to clear it out. The building was completely empty and had been derelict for a very long time. So, is that a squatter we're seeing, or something a little more mysterious? One viewer said that they got a very negative energy from the photo, that something was very wrong about the building and the figure standing in it. Several other commenters said that they could see a few different figures standing in the windows. So I'll throw this one out to you, the viewers. What's your take on the ominous figure in the doorway? Drop your theories with the rest of the community in the comment section down below. Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Now remember to subscribe to our other YouTube channels. We've got Slapped Ham Mysteries, that's more in-depth true crime style stuff. We've also got Slapped Ham Shorts, that's quick fire, short form content in your inbox every single day of the week. There's links to those channels in the description box down below there. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.